Well, this is Baruch Fleischman here. We're at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and a former study partner of mine in Kabbalah is also, not also, but he's basically an astrologer. He wrote this fantastic book. It's actually several books, but it's all in one compendium. He wasn't a person with a lot of money, and I think that's very common. Somebody with a lot of money should come along and help him get this into the proper order, at least in a more solid book, but this one works at any rate. So we were talking about different kinds of avodah zaras and things that we're forbidden to do, because the topic here is that Judaism in relationship to astrology. It is good for a man not to do all these works of divination because the Torah forbids us from divining. Let me see if I can get this lined up this way better, a little bit better. So it says, like it says, there shall not be found among you one who causes his sons and daughters to pass through the fire, one who practices divinations, an astrologer, one who reads omens, a sorcerer, or an animal charmer, one who inquires of Ov or Yuduni. These are specific kind of methods of contacting the dead and going beyond. Let's see a little bit more here. It's a big book, so got to move it around. So one who consults the dead, and you will say all these works are called divinations. But here we have a general rule, not to practice divination. And then the details, astrologer, omens, talk to the dead, etc. And you could judge only on the detail, and you can only say that these specific things, which have been mentioned in the text, have been forbidden under the category of divination and nothing else. Now, I'm not sure what he means yet, so let's find out. The rabbis had a rule that when there is a particular rule, like one who causes his children to pass through the fire, say that's a particular rule, followed by a general rule, which is no divination, and then lists particular rules like a me'onen, etc., an astrologer. The general rule is, in regards to divination, only contains these listed particulars, but no other particulars. Now, if you're not familiar with this this idea, this is a way of learning the Torah. I'll read it again. The rabbis had a rule that when there is a particular rule, what's the particular rule? So like one who causes his children to pass through the fire. So a person that's absolutely unbelievable forbidden. But it's not to say that there weren't societies in Canaan that did that. Followed by a general rule, which is that no divination. So first it says you can't fire your children, and then it says you can't do divination. This is supposed to be some kind of communication beyond this world. And then again lists particular rules. Then it starts to say the particular rule, may own an astrologer, etc. So the general rule only contains these listed particulars. So in that particular sequence of ideas from the Torah, they were saying these are specific particulars, but no other particulars. So let's see what he means here. So according to Rabbi Abraham, the definition above exclude astrology, for the things which are mentioned here are things of people who supplicate the planets and not Jewish astrology. Now, I'm not sure I got all of this, but I'll read on. Proof for you that divination is a general rule which encompasses all the details is found in the use of the quote above in Deuteronomy that lists as forbidden one who inquires of an Ov or Yidoni. It particularly uses the word inquiring of Ov and Yidoni. And yet, in the book of Samuel, it says, but the women said to him, surely you know what Saul had done, Shaul in Hebrew, that he has eliminated the necromancer and diviner of the Ov Yidoni from the land. Now here in the book of Shmuel, we see the word diviner. That word diviner in describing the Ov Yiduni and not the word inquirer, as it did in the verse of... So what is the difference? One is a diviner, one is an inquirer, as we found in Deuteronomy, to teach you that all of these particular words are included in the general forbidden category of divining. that Ov slash Yudoni and inquiring in the Ov Yudoni has the same meaning. And the word diviner could be used as a general rule concerning all divinations listening in verse 18:10 in Deuteronomy. That's a little bit vague, so let's keep going on. It's a little bit hard to hear it. So he's bringing proofs, but I don't see what the exclusion is for Jewish astrology. Another proof in the Talmud says like that is you find that the names mentioned in Deuteronomy, this is what we're talking about, the phrase we're talking about, are clearly mentioned by our rebbes, may they be blessed, in the tractate Sanhedrin. Each one, what he does and what his work is, and they don't explain among these diviners because it is a general name which includes all of them. So this proof is that in Tractate Sanhedrin, the group of forbidden diviners is listed, and it doesn't mention diviners as such, so it is a proof that the word divination is a general description, not a specific one. So it didn't go through the different kinds, it didn't say diviners this, diviners, and therefore it is a general rule. Now, this is a proof, and I'm not getting it yet, we'll keep trying. They said in Sanhedrin about the term Ma'onen, which is loosely translated as an astrologer. Rabbi Akiba said, this is one who fixes periods and hours, because the Hebrew word Ma'onen comes from the word Eine, which means a season or a period of time. A season means, for example, today is a nice day to go out. Tomorrow will be a fine day to engage in business or buy anything to profit from. Or before the 7th year, the wheat is good quality, uproot, not harvest the beans so they don't go bad and will not spoil. These people who fix periods and hours rely on their experience, which they experienced during their lifetime, and what they learned from it. So this is not astrology. This is something that it's actually something learned. They learned the word empirically, by seeing it. They didn't learn this from the wisdom of the movement of the constellations, and not from the wisdom of the movements of the planets, because they didn't give importance to one day of the week or over another one. If Monday this week is good for something, it doesn't mean next Monday will be also good. It's possible the next Monday could be dangerous. Similarly, the 7th year is not always good for the wheat crop. Not every year is the same according to the astrologers. The Ma'onim, according to Rabbi Akiba, treats the days and years in the same way always, and because of this it was said that the Ma'onims, those people who fix time or whatever, let me see if I got the right place here. The Ma'onin's artistry does not always go along with the wisdom of the constellations and not according to the wisdom of the planets. So he says, so here you see that these things are particulars and not general categories. He continues with showing that particulars are not generalities. Now, we're going to stop right here, and we'll try to get more idea about what he means by particulars and generalities and how that comes out to be a proof. This is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.